Hello everyone, welcome to the Chartered Vendor podcast. And today I'm with Jerry, the Chartered Vendor. Hi Jerry.
Hi Utendo.
I'm alright. How is the day going?
It's okay.
Are you ready for the holiday?
Holidays. Yeah, we're partially.
Partially.
We've got an independence holiday in Zimbabwe, and there's also an Easter holiday.
Which is
and
starting tomorrow.
And you?
We are yet to see what we are going to do tomorrow.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so this brings us to our topic today. We'll be discussing on why holidays are for billionaires and not brokepreneurs. What's your definition of a brokepreneur?
Okay, so to me, like when you're still starting or when you are where we are, you're trying to build something. You know, it's not easy to build a business, especially in Africa. And to make matters worse, if you come from Zimbabwe, where most of the odds are against you, so it's very, very difficult. And what I term a broken entrepreneur is someone who is you cannot afford to pay your salaries, your bills are still behind, you haven't paid your rentals, but you want to go for a holiday for what? So what I've noticed is, especially that was during COVID-19 time. Around 2021, were you born?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
2020. No, that was 2020 when the president Mnangagwa actually pronounced the 21-day lockdown. And what I noticed is most of the people they rested, and even personally, because everyone was confused. It had never happened. Soldiers had guns, police were armed to the teeth, and it was a very difficult time. So when I went home, the first week, I think COVID came as a blessing to me because that's when I started reading books, taking it seriously too. I started reading books during COVID, and up to date, I think I've read more than 400 books, business books. So when it happened, the first week we were resting, but the second week, we actually said with my management that time, guys, we need to go and work. So we started working, and we're working from home. And I think second week, I started communicating with others, and I noticed that other people are actually getting into town. So by some means, we also find ways to get ourselves into town, moving around. The first 21 days was more tough because we didn't open the offices. But when they also extended with 14 days, we came to work. And I tell you, that's when we beat most of our competitors.
Is it?
So sometimes when you take a rest, it's good to rest. But when you're resting, because I actually said, the president said, it's a 21-day lockdown, which means you're not supposed to get into town or moving around because of COVID. But they didn't say it's 21 days holiday. We need to go and rest. So, but most of the people rested. And I tell you, some of the businesses went under during COVID and they never recovered.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you believe it's an opportunity to grow your business when others are resting and others are not being productive? Do you take that chance to make maybe your business excel more?
Yeah, like I am a person who I came from Maristu Brothers Nyanga.
Okay.
And we used to also read during odd hours. And I still remember what these guys would do. So would sleep at 8:30 just after the study break. Then would wake up at 12 and start reading. Sometimes we'll never go back to sleep again around 2 a.m. So what we'd do is we're sharing a dormitory with about 10 guys. So what these guys would do, you sleep on top of your bed because when it's now cold, you can wake up automatically. So people will sacrifice their blankets. Then they'll get you into their blankets in order for you not to wake up. Okay. And that one day you'd feel like you've lost life.
A lot.
So that competitive spirit, actually, when you work when others are resting, I tell you, personally, I feel good when I'm working and everyone is enjoying out there, and I'm putting in hours, because remember, when you're in Africa starting from minors, you're not even starting from zero, black tax, if a lot of things. Yeah, suppose some of us are actually a first generation of entrepreneurs, and our fathers never knew about entrepreneurship. So you cannot compare yourself with a guy who was born in America, in UK. Probably these guys are now the 10th generations of entrepreneurs. So when they're going for holidays, yes, let them go, because they're not starting from scratch.
Yes,
yeah.
Okay. So in other words, do you believe that holidays are a luxury for only billionaires and not most of brokepreneurs?
Yeah, because this one is, I'm not talking about entrepreneurs. Even you can actually do a lot
during that time,
during the holidays.
Okay.
Like, for example, if I just ask you, say, have you ever read business books so far this year?
Yes.
Have you ever read?
Yes.
Which ones?
I read No BS, Ruthless Management of People and Profits.
Willingly.
Okay. Well, my boss made me read it.
So you can even start a journey. You know, I know that most of us, we say we don't have time. And which is the biggest lie which we have in this world. We've got 24 hours.
True.
We've got weekends. And if you look at weekends, those are 52 days in a year. So if you divide 52 by 300, we're saying almost 1/6 or 1/6 or 1/7 of the year, people will be doing nothing. So imagine if you start utilizing your Saturday, if you start utilizing your Sundays, if you start utilizing your nights, you can do a lot.
A lot during that time. True.
Yeah.
Okay. That's okay. So what's your advice to other entrepreneurs on this coming Easter holidays?
Okay. So what I would just say to them is, it's time to sit down and reflect and to say, if we had strategized for let's say we had a strategy for this year, we're now sitting to actually say, are we following what we strategized in January or probably in December or November last year? Are we on track, or we're actually now out of the track? That's the time to actually do that. Plan, do your budgets, do everything which can actually make your business grow. So to the entrepreneurs, my advice is, we need to go out and work, and, let us not work for ourselves. Let us work for the generations to come. And I'll also even give an example of when the liberators, there was a liberation struggle in Zimbabwe. Do you know that? We
studied it in history.
You studied it in history?
Yes.
So people went and they fought the white men, and they took, they wanted, due to there was white minority. Just imagine those guys when they're fighting in Mozambique, in Tanzania, in Zambia. If those guys are going to think about, do you think those guys had holidays?
No.
So when you have a big vision, sometimes you don't have holidays. Sometimes you don't have breaks. So I would think that, yes, we've got the political independence, but do we have the economic independence?
Yeah.
So when I look at Africa, it hasn't been economically emancipated. So the only way we can do it, it's us, the new generations of entrepreneurs, whoever is employing one person, 2, 3, 4, 5. When you can if you unify ourselves, we can actually grow a better Africa in a better continent.
That's all right, Jerry. Thank you. So everyone, join us after this break.
Have you invested so much into your business, but you're not getting your desired sales? Or you ask yourself whether you are selling the wrong products or services. Maybe you even blame your sales team for not bringing in the money. If your answer to these questions is yes, then you need to revise your sales approach. Selling Like a Vendor is a book that can give you answers to why you have not been making the sales. You can use this book as an individual or for your sales team as a manual on how to make sales. The book has strategies on how to get clients, how to talk to customers, how to negotiate and close the deals, and even how to upsell or cross-sell. This is an investment that can solve all your sales problems. You can order your own copy using the details shown on the screen. Remember, everyone is in sales, and sales is for everyone.
Struggling to manage leads and customer relationship? Odoo CRM has you covered. Here's how. Easily track leads, schedule follow-ups, and automate customer interactions, all in one platform. With Odoo's intuitive sales pipeline, move deals through stages, set priorities, and never miss an opportunity. Automate emails, schedule meetings, and analyze customers' data in real time to boost sales efficiency. Odoo CRM simplifies customer management and drives sales. Ready to transform your business? Get in touch with us, M&J, Building Timeless Businesses.
Okay, so before the break, we were talking about how people were hardworking and not taking holidays during their history, like back then. So Jerry, from my perspective, I think holidays are the time that we as youths get to mingle, get to see our mjolos, get to sleep from work, and to use our phones properly.
Yeah, that's good.
So personally, I think maybe everyone should get a chance to have their holidays. And yeah, maybe if we are to think, we'll be thinking when we're at home. We strategize. We think maybe next week I'll be doing so and so. And yes, in the beginning of the year at work, we planned on doing so and so. But for now, we are here. Maybe we haven't reached our goals. Of course, we haven't. Yes. But I think maybe we can do it at home as well. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not saying you can be productive whilst at home. Actually, personally, all the books which I've written, I've never written a book at work.
Okay.
I actually write at home. So during those nights, whilst you are sleeping, 3 a.m. I'm waking up, I'm writing. During those nights when your people are sleeping, those are the nights which you also read books. So what I'm simply saying is, yes, the biggest mistake is to turn off and say, I'm leaving everything. I'm going to be, yes, I understand people, they've got relationships, etc., family. But I also imagine those guys who sacrificed for the war, for the liberation war, didn't they have relationships?
They did, but now Jerry is different because currently, especially most people that are Christians, from tomorrow till Monday, they'll be going for church.
Yeah.
Like maybe they'll be there for even day and night. They'll be there.
Yeah.
So how then would they balance?
Yeah. If you notice also, yes, I understand. And we also go to church. You go to church. But you notice most of us, even Christians, we're now abusing the Bible. And we are now, I think God, yes, he rested on on the seventh day. But God had created what? Heaven, earth, even you. It created a human being. Then he said, I'm now resting. But the question now which I want to give to other people out there and even you, you want to rest, what have you created? So the question is, look at your goals, which you listed when you're starting 2025. Where are you now with your goals?
So we should use them as a push.
Exactly. So I'm saying, go to church. I don't think there are churches where you actually, you spend the whole day, you sleep there, you spend the whole day on Saturday, you sleep there, you spend the whole day on Sunday, you sleep there, you spend the whole day on Monday. There's nothing like that.
But this time is different, Jerry. On Easter's, people really spend their days at church.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, we can use it as a scapegoat.
Okay.
That's why you also notice that Africa, we're very good at believing. We are very good at Christianity. Okay. But why are we broke whilst we're actually close to God? Why are we broke? Why are we suffering when we are close? We spent 9 day and night at church. We even climbed mountains, 21 days we're at church. So why are we broke? There's a missing link. Because actually God himself said, if you don't work hard, nothing will come out. So we need to pray, but we need to also strike a balance. You pray, you go and work. You pray, you thank God. You look for wisdom. You go back, you go and work. That's how it works. But if you only pray, you can suffer. Whilst you're a prayer warrior. Yeah,
you're right. So, in other words, you're supporting the fact that maybe we should hustle now and then maybe rest later when everything is now in order.
Sometimes it depends with you where you are. Sometimes you never rest. If you look at it right now, just check on it. some of us were saying, you be the first. Yes, there's time to work and there's time to rest. I still remember when I was listening to a guy called, what is his name? But he's a guy from China. He's a Chinese American. He was actually saying up to when he was 40 years old, he never took a weekend. He never went for a holiday. But that guy is now a multimillionaire. He actually calls him the boss in the Bentley. I'm forgetting his name. If I remember it, I'll tell you. But this guy is now very rich. But you look at it, he sacrificed. Now he can afford to go for holidays. Some of these holidays, visits, which you call holidays, are not actually holidays. Yeah. So I still remember one of the guy is one of my mentors, is a business guy, business guru, Dr. Chirisa. He actually said, when you're going to rural areas, that's not a holiday. It's a visit. Holiday, they start from Vic Falls. And when you're also going by air, that's where holiday they start from. So we need to challenge yourself. It's time to work. It's time to push. When you still have energy, the energy which you have right now, in future, it will also decrease. And you need to work now so that you can now, when you're now 50 years old, 60 years old, you're going for golf and you can go for golf even in Switzerland. Traveling by air, wherever you want to go, you can go. Not to be limited. Not to say now when you're now 60, you're still working very hard. You're not working like a 30 years old.
That's all right. So thank you, Jerry, for joining us for the podcast.
That's okay. So today with one of our new guests, that's my new co-host, Rutendo, and we'll be sharing more business ideas here on the Chartered Vendor podcast, where we talk about everything business and everything sales and everything marketing, try to push the agenda and make sure that Africa will thrive and Africa will grow to be an economic hub. Africa doesn't have to be last. Shout out to all the people who are supporting this podcast, and remember to subscribe. Remember to always comment if you think what I'm saying was actually making sense, or if you think what I'm saying also wasn't making sense. Please comment below. Let us have a conversation. Let us continue with it on our social media platforms and on this YouTube channel. Until next time, it's bye bye for now. Jerry out.